Hey, beautiful people, and welcome back to my vlog. Now, I suggest that you go grab you some coffee, some tea, or some wine, cause baby, it's story time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the comment section. Girl, let me tell you something. You got to get it together. You got to lose weight. I don't care how much people say to you, oh no, girl, you look good. You don't look that big. And, you sexy and you fine. I can't stand those big Rick Ross beards. I just don't like them. Never have, never will. Only one man in my whole life that even to this day, and he's married, even to this day, there's one man in my whole life that if any of my girlfriends ever attempted to date him, y'all would probably see a totally different side of Chloe. It is what it is. I just told her, I'm like, only thing you had to do was come to me and tell me, and I was not going to discourage you from that. I was just going to let you know, he's a swinger, this, that. Happy Monday. I am officially back at work and, but I'm on lunch right now. So I decided I will pop on and make a video. I'm going to probably start making more content this year and being more strategic with my planning and conversation. As you can see, got a new do. Opinions are welcome, but they won't really matter. Let's see. So, well, first I'm over here cutting up beets. I'm supposed to be making some beet juice. I think I'm gonna try and make some beet juice, but I also plan on roasting. I need to go to the store and get some rhubarb, some rutabagas, and I don't know, something else, some vegetables that you can actually roast. My sister used to do it for me, but I need to be a big girl and start doing stuff for myself, even though she loves to do it. But this week she got a lot going on anyway, and plus now that I'm working from home, I have no excuse. I know a lot of people don't like beets, but whenever I say I love beets, I love beets. Love beets. Like whenever I go to Golden Corral and I go to the salad bar, I always get beets. So, but then I guess even though I'm in Atlanta, I'm still considered I guess you could still consider me a country girl because my parents were from the country. And so I spent my summers in the country on the farm. I might as well go ahead and cut up the rest of these because I am going to juice some of them. But anyway, so today, well, actually yesterday, like one of my girlfriends reached out to me. Hey, Andrea. It's really Andrea, but I always call her Andrea. And I need to do better about that because I need to respect what her name is, Andrea. So Andrea. I have an Andrea that I work with. Andrea. So Andrea is one of my girlfriends. We have some very good conversations, and she is so supportive. She's the one that I think I had mentioned before. She lives in Ohio, and we've only met one time, but she is such a sweetheart. She sends me messages and voice messages and stuff telling me that she loves me, inspirational. She's just a girlfriend's girlfriend. So shout out to Andrea. So she said that she was watching Later Daters. And so I said, okay, well, let me know whenever you watch. Let me know your thoughts. She had got through half of it and sent me a couple of messages, but she sent me a message yesterday and I just responded back to her today. Speaking of which, when I responded back to her, I had on the tank top that I have with the sports bra I have on up under here and my pants. And I looked at the message after I sent it and I said, girl, let me tell you something. You got to get it together. You got to lose weight. I don't care how much people say to you, oh no, girl, you look good. You don't look that big. And you know, you sexy and you fine. Baby, this weight has to come off. And I'm not talking about no cute little 20 pounds. I'm talking about close to 50 pounds needs to come off. No less than 40. And it will come off. Because I can't be out here in these streets. I said this year I'm going to date them all. And I understand that, you know, a man is supposed to accept you for you. And that's fine. But whenever you don't feel good about you, you shouldn't expect somebody else to accept what you're not accepting of. That's something that we need to be honest about, is that we're quick to say, the people upstairs have a dog, and I swear that the dog be playing in the house and dropping balls or whatever. But anyway, and I need to slow my talking now. So, because I get excited and I start talking fast. If you're not happy with where you are or how you look, then it's wrong to think that somebody else should be. And it's the same thing if you have a certain aesthetic within a person that you are attracted to, then it's unfair for you to, whenever you're attracted to someone who's not attracted to you, it's not fair for you to get upset because they're not attracted to you, because we all have preferences. I have preferences. Like, for example, I don't like big beards on men. Whenever I say I can't stand it, I can't stand those big Rick Ross beards. I just don't like them. Never have, never will. Same thing that men don't like weave. If you don't like weave, I respect that. But I'm going to do what I want to do that makes me happy and that makes me feel good or makes me feel sexy. And I'm going to be honest that, you know, I've been rocking short, blonde, skit to the scalp bald hair since 1996, but I do change it up. And sometimes I'll do like I just did. I'll throw some weave up in my hair. So anyway, what I was basically saying is that if you're not happy with certain things about yourself, you can't expect someone else to be happy with it too. It's just not fair. It's not an unrealistic way of thinking. And although people will say, oh, Chloe, you look fine, or I think you're sexy and you're not big. Okay, but when I look in the mirror, what I see is something totally different. I'm not happy with it. And I can't keep complaining about it. I can't keep hiding it with black clothes or big clothes. And for example, it hurts for me to wear heels now. It used to be a time when I didn't wear anything but heels. Whenever I told you guys that I don't have sneakers, I don't really have sneakers. I've never been a sneakers girl. So, you know, put it like this. I've worn heels to Six Flags back in the day, in my 20s. So basically, you know, all the thing I'm saying is that I'm not happy with how I look. And so my focus this year and beyond is to really get serious about my health. I want to age gracefully, beautifully, and sexy. So that's what your girl is doing. She's working on getting her sexy back. It's so funny, since I've been sick and I haven't really been eating. And so this weekend I decided I wasn't going to eat any meat and all sorts of stuff. And with the exception of some eggs, for the most part, I stuck by it. I just tried to eat some of my sister's Mojo wings that she canned, and I finished them, but I realized that I don't have a desire for, maybe it's because I still have a cold, but I don't have a desire for meat. I just have a desire for fruits and vegetables. And I don't know if I talked about it, and I just jumped off subject. That's what we're talking about, later daters. Not last year because it's 2025, but I actually had put it in another blog that I was going to do, but I ended up deleting it. That's the one where I told you that my boobies was all out. So, quick backstory. In March of 2023, we went to Jamaica for a trip for my best friend's birthday. So the trip was scheduled from that Saturday until that Friday. But I ended up leaving that Wednesday because, number one, it was going to be too... Okay. So I was supposed to be roommating with 2 other women. Being in a room with 2 other women for 7 days, that wasn't going to fly with me. That was going to be too much. And so I decided that I would go with them that Saturday, and we had a ball. But I would leave that Wednesday because I was ending up paying for, at first it was going to be single occupancy. And I wanted to make sure I was there for a birthday, of course, and I wanted to spend time with them and everything, but 7 days was just too long of a time. And not only that, but I did not want to waste, I ain't gonna say waste, I did not want to use all of my vacation time on, a great deal of my vacation time on that trip, because I had other things that I wanted to do for the rest of the year. And so I did not want to burn my vacation using all of it on that trip. So I ended up coming back that Wednesday. Now, what happened was my ex, oh, baby, I got a story time about that. This guy that I used to date, I'm not even going to call him my ex. I'll say this guy that I used to date, that I stopped dating. He was a swinger. That's a whole nother conversation. And he ended up effing somebody that was supposed to been my sister. That's a whole story time right there, because she and I ended up falling out because of... We didn't fall out because... Okay, so she and I... This is another thing about Chloe that I'm all about sisterhood, but at one point I used to be too much about sisterhood, and I'm not your typical Scorpio. So I used to be too forgiving of people who just would do me so freaking dirty. So this particular person, at my birthday party that I used to have forums. This particular forum was called Brothers Lust and Love. If you Google it on YouTube, I think it might be out there on YouTube. I think Adrian, the production manager, put it on YouTube. But, and I might insert clips, not clips from the video, but actual pictures from it in this vlog. Y'all do that. So, on that particular day, she reached out to him, knowing that he and I used to see each other. She knew very well that he and I used to see each other because I used to talk about the situation. And she reached out to him, and they started messing around. My birthday was in October. I would have a lot of get-togethers at my house. That's one of the reasons why I no longer do the big group friendship thing. I would have a lot of get-togethers at my house. We would plan, get-togethers where we would go out to the movies and go out to eat. And I'm talking about, it would be sometimes like 15, 20 of us. We, on a regular basis, we were like trying different places to eat and going to the movies and stuff like that. So they would be up in my house, eating my food, drinking my liquor, all this other stuff. And she'd be like, sis this and sis that and all this other stuff. And he and I, after we, broke up and whatever, after we stopped seeing each other, we was still cool, because it was, like I say, it was a crew of us. We used to be called the usual TUS, TUS, the usual suspects. It was always the same people that would come. And this came from a online group that I had for Facebook. At one time, that group had like 300 people in it. But I end up, that's a whole nother story. I end up leaving the group, even though I ended up leaving the group because it was just too much drama, too much mess. But anyway, so the usual suspects was a group of us. We started going on cabin trips every year. I mean, yeah, it was, honey, I got some stories for you guys. So what happened was, one day she and I went out. It was like, by this time it was like April, and they had been messing around since October, but they were called themselves keeping it on the low. That's one thing that I'm going to tell you, sisters, that I would never do again, that I used to do. I understand about being private, but you will no longer keep me a secret. And he was actually dealing with somebody else. He had before previously been dealing with somebody else in the group. And I wasn't tripping about it, even though that person didn't know that he and I used to, see each other. But so one day she and I we were out at Dugan's, drinking, having a good time, blah, 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 blah. And so she then says to me, Chloe, she drunk now. Chloe, I love you. I love you so much. You my sister. I love you so much. And I'm like looking at her like, okay, what's going on now? Because I know how she gets when she gets drunk. So she was like, Chloe, I love you. She said, if I tell you something, you promise you won't be mad at me? And so I looked at her like, what did you do? And she's like, you got to promise you won't be mad at me. And so I was like, okay, who you effing now? Because that was just her. So I thought she was going to tell me that she's effing somebody that she know that I'm not going to say wouldn't approve of, but she know I'm going to look at her sideways at, because I know he's not hitting on anything. So she said, you promise you won't get mad at me? I said, no, I'm not going to get mad at you. So she pulls out her phone and she shows me a string of text messages. Now, in this text message is a picture of the other woman that I was telling you about, showing all her boobs. And then I'm looking at the text message and I see the name, and I said his name. We're going to call him Stanley. I say, is that Stanley? And then I say his last name. I'm not going to say that, because if I say Stanley and match it with with something close to his last name, people will know. I say, is that Stanley? And she was like, yeah. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, she's like, you mad at me? And I was just so stunned, because other people had already warned me about her with my past relationship. The one that I was in a relationship with long term, and having her around, and she so I said, I was like, no, I'm not. I said, no, I'm not mad at you. I said, but he'll swing her. She was like, yeah, I know, but this, that, and the third, and all this other stuff. I said, so how long has this been going on? So she said, since October. I said, since October? She said, yeah, at your birthday party. So you mean to tell me that you reached out to a ninja I used to mess with at my birthday party? Yeah. So, you know, she had been drinking, I had been drinking. There's a lot of stuff going on. Now, back it up. Let me say this. So while we was there at Dugan's, it's a guy that I had been conversing with. And he came up there with his homeboy specifically to hang out with me. As soon as he walked up, and, you know, we was talking when I introduced her, her drunk self, talking about some, you so sexy, you so fine, and all this other, oh, you smell so good. Him and his boy went outside on the patio. She don't follow them outside on the patio and everything. Mind you, he's up there for me. Baby, whenever I say, I used to always be like all about love, but some of it was heavily based on my insecurities. Because my mom used to always tell me, you know, that's not your friend. I used to be like, well, my friend this and my friend that, and my mom used to be like, you know, those are not your friends, and she was right. So she was like, hey, please don't tell him I told you, because if you tell him that I told you, he's gonna be mad at me. That's another dumbass thing I did. I'm like, okay. So after that, we talked the next day, and I was like, no, I'm not mad at you. I said, but I wish you would have told me, because I'm one of those people. A lot of people don't agree with it, and you know, that's fine. Matter of fact, let me sit down, child. Please let me sit down. This is gonna be a long video. So, who threw a meeting on my schedule? Anyway, so where was I at? Oh yeah, so this particular guy had come up there and to see me. We weren't, you know, he was liking me, and I was kind of interested, whatever. So he was coming up there, you know, he had hit me up, you know, what you doing tonight? I said, going to Dugan's. And he was like, okay, cool, me and my boys are fall through. So he came through. But when he walked up, she's a very aggressive person, especially whenever she's been drinking. She's very aggressive with men. So she even had followed him outside. But anyway, so the next day when we talked, I was like, you know, basically I said, what I said was, you know, I wish you had told me if you would have, you know, I'm one of those people, you could talk to me about anything. I'm one of those people, when I am done with a man, I am done with a man. I know about the girl code, and you don't mess with anybody that your girl has messed with and all this other stuff. But whenever I say when I am done with a man, I don't care. Like, maybe he'll be better for you than he was, you know, for me. There's only one man in my whole life that even to this day, and he's married, even to this day, there's one man in my whole life that if any of my girlfriends ever attempted to date him, y'all would probably see a totally different side of Chloe. It is what it is. It is what it is. But other than that, I don't care. My thing is just give me a heads up. Because if you give me a heads up, I'm not going to try and discourage you. Like I said, you guys may be, you know, perfect for each other. And in this instance, I wasn't into him like that. I'm going to tell you what this attaches to. This attaches to who I ended up going to who ended up being my roommate when we went to Jamaica in 2023. And we're going to reel it all back in and talk about how going to Jamaica brought about my spirituality and changed me, and becoming a semi-vegetarian, mainly eating fruits, losing a lot of weight, mental clarity, and all that other stuff. But anyway, so, I just told her, I'm like, the only thing you had to do was come to me and tell me, and I was not going to discourage you from that. I was just going to let you know, he's a swinger, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 all this other good stuff. But if you decided that you wanted to talk to him, go for it. But don't be in my house, eating my food, drinking my alcohol for November, December, January, February, March, April, 6 months. And during that time, we done hung out as a crew. We done went to different places to eat. We done went to Atlantic Station to the movies and then went to eat. I'm not sure if we had went bowling, but my house was always a hub where everybody came. I used to always have these huge get-togethers and gatherings at my house. Y'all up in my house, knowing y'all fucking. That's some nasty work. Do you hear me? But me, being me, I didn't even cut her off. But what happened was I ended up being her confidant about all the stuff that she was going through with him. And I would listen to some of the things that she would say, and it was always justifying his behavior. She would co-sign a lot of the things that he would say. Of course, he's a swinger, so of course he's going to say that putting titles on a relationship destroys a relationship and destroys things. And as long as me and that person know what it is, there's no need to put a title on it. Of course, you're going to go along with it, and us women have. So it's not just her. There's plenty of women who will go along with the little that a man offers because we want him so bad. I've been that woman. So this went on for like 2 or so years that I knew that they were messing around, but he didn't know that I knew they was messing around. She would tell me stuff like, he put 4 brand new, I had needed some tires. He put 4 brand new tires on my car. Of course he put 4 brand new tires on your car. He always drives your car. He always has your car. So of course he's going to put 4 brand new tires on your car. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just listening. Then she told me about the time whenever she was at his house, and he told her that he needed her to leave right quick because he had some business to take care of. And she left, and she was waiting for him to call her back because she lived literally less than a mile away from him. And she kept calling him back. He was like, no, not yet. I'm still, handling business, whatever. So something told her to get in the car and drive over there. She got in the car and she drove over there, and she seen a car parked outside that she had seen before. It was backed into the parking space in front of his unit. And she ended up leaving and going back home, and waited for him to call. So whenever he called, he told her, come pick me up. We're going to go over your house. Now, if he don't cook dinner and all this other stuff, now all of a sudden he tells you to leave. And then when you finally go back a couple of hours later, he tells you, I'm going to get in the car with you and we're going to go over to your house. Why can't we go in your house? So then he's asking her, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Because he knows, he has a feeling that she knows what's going on. So come to find out that the chick that was in the house was somebody he had been messing with for a while. The chick claimed that she had, the chick even knew about me. And that's it's a lot to this story, because the chick that was in the house knew one of my close friends and had asked one of my close friends about this so-called girlfriend who I'm no longer friends with, and asked about me. Because a chick had been in the house and she had seen where this so-called girlfriend had left him a card for Father's Day or something like that. Anyway, the chick claimed that she had a key to the house, and she claimed that, anyway, so anytime stuff would happen with them, I was her confidant. Now, that's some crazy work. You done went behind my back and screwed a dude that I used to mess with, but then you turn me into your confidant. But I blame myself. I take accountability for that because Chloe was too forgiving. I can't even describe the type of person that I once were. I used to take so much stuff off of people. And oh my God, when I say I have evolved, baby, when I say I have evolved, I have truly evolved. And I am so proud of the woman that I have finally become in my vintage years. Life lessons have been just crazy work for me. And this new me, I am so in love with her, and she's still growing, and I am so proud of me, because whenever I say I'm gonna have some story times for you, oh my God, I'm gonna have some story times for you. It's gonna be some people that's gonna be mad, but you know what? I'm at the IDGF. I'm at the IDGF phase of my life. But I tell these stories in hopes that other women who sees it can either, one, relate to it and understand that they don't have to be ashamed because they're not the only one. And two, in hopes that the younger women who watches my channel, who I hear from often, can get this auntie vibe and big sis vibe, even mother vibe, and hopefully learn from my mistakes and don't make them too. So that's why I'm very transparent in everything that I say and I do. I have no shame about anything that I've gone through in the past. I look at everything as a lesson and growing pains and what I had to go to get to the next phase of my life. So anyway, the crazy thing about it is that a couple of years, because they were seeing each other for like 4 or 5 years. The crazy thing about it is that we went on a cabin trip, and on the cabin trip, I had started dating someone. I had been dating this guy, and he was real protective. I would post pictures where I just came back from a run and I was sweating, and even though it was childish, he would come on my post and he'd be like, "Chloe, what's this? Take this down." And he would be joking, but he would be serious. And so when we got to the cabin trip, we're on the cabin trip. She's on the cabin trip. She's sitting in the chair, and he's on the cabin trip. It's like, I think it's about like 10 or 15 of us. We went on so many, I can't tell you. But that's the first cabin trip when I had some gummies. I have to tell you about that at another date. But my first time taking gummies, oh my God. So we're on the cabin trip and we're sitting around and everything. We had just gotten there, getting settled in. And he says, okay, what happened was that the guy that I was dating, he didn't come, but he said that, him and his brother might, ride up on their motorcycles later, because his brother was actually dating one of the other girls that was on the cabin trip. So I don't know how the conversation started, but he was basically like, Chloe, what's up with this nigga that you supposed to be seeing? I can't believe you too grown for that, be having a man come on your post and, do this and this and this and this. Now she's sitting in the chair. So I'm like, oh yeah, I got to tell you about that cabin trip, because baby, he came up there and he left and was gone in her car for 2 days. So, because he had to work. So he came up there that day, and then anyway, so, baby, I got some stories for y'all. So, he was like, this, that, and the third, and I can't believe that you let, him do that, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I said, why are you concerned about what I do with my pee? Why? I don't understand why you concerned with that. I'm just saying it don't make no sense. I mean, it got to the point where me and him are going at it. We going at it so bad that I'm sitting on the sofa. She's sitting in the chair. He back there rolling around on, well, I say literally rolling around on the pool table. He just going off. I mean, you would think that he was my man. He going off. He rolling around on the pool table. He got the stick on the pool table, banging on the pool table. I just can't believe that you do this. Now, as a woman, you the one who effing him now, and I'm his ex. I would have a problem with why are you so concerned with what's going on between her and her new dude. I mean, she just sitting over there in the chair looking crazy. She looking crazy because nobody don't know they messing around. But when I say he acted a fool, he even stood up on the pool table, acting a freaking fool while she just sitting there looking stupid. That's the man that you chose to deal with. Okay. So, let's reel it on into the end of She and I. The She and I end came in, we have been friends now for almost 10 years. Wow, time has really flown because I left Parker Hannafin and then I went to DHL and I was working at DHL. So what happened was I and another girlfriend was on text talking and we was having a conversation. We had just came around to talking about labels. And I was saying in the text message that, I am for labels. I need to know where I stand with you. So there won't be no confusion. If I'm your girlfriend, I expect monogamy. If we're just dating, I can date who I want to date. You can date who you want to date. If we're dating exclusively, I feel like, okay, we're not technically in a relationship, but we're really trying to focus on each other to see if this is who we want to really commit all of our, who we want to commit to. And then this is my old way of thinking. My new way of thinking now is in 2025, babe, I'm dating them all. So we were all talking and she says, I'm the same way. I believe in titles, in labels, in titles. I believe in titles, too, and blah, blah, blah. Now, mind you, she and I had so much conversation about him and some of the things that he would say, some of the things that he would do. I had been planning a couples trip was planning a cruise for me and the guy that I was seeing at the time. His birthday is around Valentine's Day. And so I had put it in the group chat and Stanley had said, well, dang, this sounds like a couples trip. I need to find somebody to go on the trip with too. Mind you, she's in the group chat because it's our crew, the usual suspects. But again, nobody really knows that they're. So one of the other girls in the group chat says to him, well, I'll be your plus one. So they going back and forth and kikiing and flirting and stuff like that. So, oh girl, my friend is texting me on the back end saying he being so disrespectful and blah blah blah. But how can he be disrespectful if the only thing y'all doing is effing? Because you have said to him more than one time that you want a relationship and he's told you he's not ready for a relationship. But if he was ready for a relationship, it would be with you. That's what she would tell me. And I'm like, girlfriend. Okay, when we went to the cabins, he left that night and he was supposed to come back. He left that night that Thursday. And we were going to be there from that Thursday to that Monday. He left that night that Thursday, said that he was going, because the cabins we were at were maybe like an hour and 15 minutes from where he lived, we lived, whatever. He said he was coming back. That was that Thursday night. He didn't come back he said he was going to be back that Friday. He didn't come back that Friday. He didn't come back that Saturday. He had her car. He came back that Sunday. I'm just sitting there looking at her like, So anyway, what happened was, she and I and the other friend are on chat, and, we're talking about, relationships and titles and all this other stuff. And she said, did she believe in titles? So what happened was that Saturday I had a barbecue at my house, and we're at my house. We all sat around and we talking because the Usual Suspects was a group where we talked about love, intimacy, relationships. We talked about Black love. We talked about everything. So when we have get-togethers at my house, it's always going to be about a session. We're always going to be sitting around and eating, drinking, playing cards. The guys smoke cigars, and some of the girls too, because I used to smoke cigars. We just chopping it up, just having a good old Love Jones on a larger level type of session. So he's standing there, she's standing there, and we get on the subject of labels. I don't know who brought it up. Why me? And so he's like, and he real animated. He was like, because he's from Cali. He's from California. So he's like, yeah, and I don't believe in labels because labels don't do nothing but mess it up and this, that, and the third and blah, blah, blah. She's standing right there beside him, and she drunk. She was like, and I agree, labels mess things up and blah, blah. And I'm like, because me, her, and the other friend just had a conversation on text message like a day or two before, and she was like, she's all for titles and stuff like that and all stuff. So I'm just, and so I say to her, I was like, so I say, I say, so basically, I said, so what you're saying is that you're okay, because he's standing right there. He don't know that I know that they messing around, but of course she know that, I said, so basically, I said, you're saying that you're fine with dealing with someone for an extended period of time with no title on it. Because she had, like I said, asked him a couple of times, said she wanted more, and he told her he didn't want more. So that was that. So that Monday I get to work, I get an email, and the email says, I just want to let you know that I feel like I need to sever our friendship because you're judging, you judge me, and I don't appreciate that, and I don't appreciate being judged, and blah, 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 blah. So I feel like we need to sever our friendship. When I say that hurt me so bad. That hurt me so bad. And I'm going to tell you ladies, that was the situation that changed me. I'm not going to say changed me, but really started to change me whenever it comes to how I deal with women. I would give you you come on my house and I got some heels in my closet, and I love those. Those are so cute. You can have them. I don't care if I paid $130 for them. You can have them. We would go out, and I did the same thing with somebody else that I used to be friends with. When I told y'all guys that is very famous now, who I was like, we go to Six Flags. Don't worry, I got it. If I want to go out, or we want to go out, and you say you ain't got it, don't worry, I got it. I got you. Always treating. It ain't no thing. I got you. I got it. I got you. If I got it, you got it. So when I say that person changed me, I'm still all about sisterhood. I'm still all about love. And I was like, wow, it took me a minute. And so I responded back, and I was rather brief. And I was like, wow, I got to respect. I can't do nothing but respect your decision. But let me say this to you. When you went behind my back and fucked the nigga that I had been fucking, I didn't cut you off. Not only did I not cut you off, but I kept your confidence all these years. And I was the person that you would go to talk about him, because you couldn't talk about nobody else because nobody else knew that y'all was fucking. But if you feel like this is the best decision for you, if you feel like I'm judging you because of something you said, I just question you. I didn't throw you under the bus. I just questioned you because we had just had a conversation a couple of days before where you said that you were okay with Tyson. Oh no, let me back it up. Let me correct myself. What happened was that she came into the text message that we had previously, and she was basically saying that she didn't appreciate me, trying to call her a slick, trying to call her out like that. And what I said to her, I said this person's name. I said, as long as you keep co-signing his BS, you will never be his woman. You will always just be his friend, because you're going along with that's not what you want. But just so you can have a piece of him, or just to stay in his good graces, you're going along with what he wants, but that's not what you want. And as long as you keep co-signing what he says, you're going to forever be a friends with benefits situation. You'll never be his woman. That's what I had said. So that's what triggered the email I got that Monday when I got to work. So my response to her was, basically, okay, you want to sever ties with me because you say I'm judging you because I simply just gave you some real honest truths, girlfriend to girlfriend, about the nigga you fucking that you went behind my back and started fucking. That's some crazy work. So I said, but okay. And that was it. Now, the crazy part about it is that we used to work together and we kind of like run in the same circles. I really don't run so much in the circles. We know a lot of the same people. And I've always wondered what it was that she told them as to why we were no longer friends, because we used to be hanging like this. When I say, I still have pictures that come up in my, my history of us together. Even though we're blocked each other, the pictures still come up. And, it hurt me for when I say that I carried that. I just really got over severing that friendship. I'm going to be honest with you, about 4 years ago, and it's been about 10 years. It hurt me so bad. And the crazy thing about it is that I end up getting into it real bad on another cabin. Okay, so this is the crazy part. She severed friendships with me, but I always have these group trips that I would go on, these cabin trips. We went to the lake house, the same, crew. He never missed a one. So I really wonder, how does she feel knowing that you done severed ties with me, but the dude that you effing, he don't miss a one. Me and him never, me and him had never, before they even started, that was over and done with. I can't deal with somebody who's in that type of lifestyle. But we was still, we was just still, cool. It was a crew of us that all hung together. No animosity. Even when I found out they was messing around, nigga go nig. And I didn't want him. When I say I didn't want him, I did not want him. He wasn't a quality dude for me to even really care about like that. Once I started realizing he wasn't even a quality dude for me to worry about. So I didn't care that they were. And I say that with all honesty. I didn't care. So, but the crazy part about it, I wonder how she felt knowing that every time we had a cabin trip, he was right there. He was usually the first one to pay the deposit and pay his bonus. Here you go. So, I end up getting into it on another cabin trip. And he and I got into it real bad because he was like, Chloe, you walk around here acting like your ish don't stink and blah, blah, blah. But I know this and I know that. And I know the only reason that he could know it is because she had to tell him. And I later found out that she was behind my back talking major trash to a lot of people that we mutually knew. So at that time, I went off, and it was a lot of people out there. We was out on the it snowed that we were in Gatlinburg, and it snowed. Hold just a second, y'all. I had some cold in my throat. So me and him going at it, and I don't know how I came out with it, but I said, "But what about you? You effing blah blah blah." His eyes got big, and he started stuttering. No, he wanted like, we just friends. We were just friends. We were just friends. That's not what I heard. I didn't even tell him that I knew everything. When I said I knew everything, because she would tell me everything that they was going through, everything that he did, blah, 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 all this. She would tell me everything. And he was like, then finally he admitted, let me tell you, okay, so we had that argument. So let's bring it back around to whenever I went to Jamaica 2023. So I went to Jamaica 2023. He ended up being my roommate. Nothing happened. We shared the same room. That was it. Whenever I say number one, I wasn't even remotely even attracted anymore. Number one. Number two, once you go behind me, that's going to be a hell to the no anyway. But he, like I say, he and I was like, we was like cool. We was like homies, really, really and truly like homies. So he ended up being, the crazy part about it, he ended up being my roommate. And we were there from that Saturday to that Wednesday. So bringing it back to what I was talking about, when I was talking about I was getting ready to get back on my fruits and my juices. So I don't know what it was about when I went to Jamaica, and this is about my spiritual journey. When I went to Jamaica and I got down there, it was, it's all you can eat, all you can drink. It's Jamaica. It's the beautiful water, everything. But for some reason, God just started talking to me. And I did have occasionally had a drink when I first got down there, but it was like, I think by like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I think after that Sunday, I just stopped drinking. I mean, even I stopped drinking and I wasn't really eating. You can be gluttonous. I love oxtails. They had oxtails galore. Curry, curry and all of that. But I wasn't really eating a lot. I was drinking, sweet tea. I was drinking a lot of water. Of course, we're in Jamaica. You know what happens in Jamaica. I wasn't partaking or any of that. I spent a lot of time just sitting and watching the water, sitting on the balcony, watching the water. Of course, I was hanging with the crew and everything, but I just felt something different come wash over me. It was just a spiritual awakening for me. And I had been on a spiritual journey already, but it was something about the Jamaica that was like a turning point for me. And so whenever I came back from Jamaica, I gave up cigars. I gave up smoking hookahs. I gave up alcohol. I gave up fast food. I gave up processed foods. I started working on my cussing. I started to change how I dressed because I used to dress very risque. Started changing how I dress, and I got heavily into eating just fruits and raw. Started, researching eating fruits and raw diets and stuff. I mean, it was to the point where I was going through 3 watermelons a week. I was eating the watermelons, and I was also drinking watermelon juice. I was drinking a lot of smoothies, and I was walking anywhere from 3 to 7 miles a day. I got down to 180 pounds. Now, when we first went to Jamaica, I think I was probably at maybe 215, maybe somewhere like 250, anywhere between 207 and 215. I got down to 180 pounds. All the inflammation in my body was gone. It used to hurt when I would put my feet on the floor. That was gone. My knees was hurt, which is part of the reason why I stopped playing kickball. I was able to walk and run. I just felt better. My skin cleared up. I just felt like a totally different person. I really feel like what we eat is a heavy contribution to our depression and all of that. And I know that because whenever I changed my diet and gave up all of those things, I was sleeping better. I had more energy. I was getting up. I was going to work out. It was just life changing. And then, and the thing is that for some of the people that I hung around, it was hard for them to understand because I was so at peace. I didn't like a lot of loud music. I never really liked a lot of loud music and loud noises, but it became extremely irritating to me. I didn't turn on the TV a lot of times. I would just sit and read and meditate. I became so incredibly prayerful. I mean, would pray off and on all day long. My connection to God was just like, oh my God. I felt so zen. And then my mom started to get sick. She started to go down, and peace was broken. So at this point in my life, my mom died the Wednesday before Mother's Day, and I still have not been able to get that peace back. But it's like the relationship with my ex that I was with for a long time. Once you've experienced something so beautiful and great, you don't want to accept anything less. And so I want to get back to that person. I was so positive. I was so spiritual. I want that person back. And so that's what I'm working on, getting back to her, refinding, her again. So yeah, that is my story time. I know that this is probably all that's going to be on this vlog, because I just gave y'all all the tea. Actually, we were supposed to be discussing later daters on this vlog, and I done went all the way over here. So we'll discuss later daters on the next vlog, because I talked to Andrea and we had a discussion about because I have to write stuff down. We had a discussion about Anise, Nate, Pam, Suzanne, Greg, and Lori. So if you haven't watched Later Daters and you're like part of the 40 and up and the 50 and up club, please go watch Later Daters on Netflix. It's by Michelle Obama, First Lady Michelle Obama. And it's interesting. If you can't find something in there that you can relate to, I don't know what to tell you, because I'm going to tell you now. Lori put me on my back. Not only did she put me on my back, but she also put me on my knees praying to God to please repair those things in me that I need to repair. Please return my femininity to me and tone down the masculinity unless it's a reason for it. Because I'm going to be honest with you. If you have watched Later Daters, Lori punched me in the face. She punched me in the chest with Chloe. that's what you look like sometimes. Yeah. So that's my story time. That's my vlog for today. I love you guys, but now I need to get my behind back on this computer because I got work on top of work that I need to catch up with. Love you guys. Talk to you later.